Hey friends, Wayne over here at Ram Man Inc. Don't forget the ink. There it is, December 23rd, 2021. Here we've got my planetary prototyping table set up. What? You said planetaries. Yeah, I said planetaries. These things right here. Planetaries, ring gears, and sun gears. Now, I got to thinking a couple years ago, what if there was a way, this is ultimate sick shit, what if there was a way to bolt on affordable, universal planetaries on a smaller axle than's ever been done, basically a full floating 8-lug hub axle, a Dana 60, a Dana 70, a Dana 80, or like maybe a GM 14 bolt. So, here I have up here, I'll show y'all my personal shit. 12/24/19, it says front prototype spec, rear close prototype. That's right before the COVID and shit. And I had started playing around. I think I made a couple videos and I showed y'all how I jammed some Ford 455 smaller planetaries into a unit bearing hub. Yeah, that's planetaries inside a unit bearing hub. There we go. Go ahead, say, yeah, you badass. Thank you. I appreciate it. So, moving on from that, what do we get from planetaries? Why do they use them on big axles? Why are they used in the military? Why are they starting to be used in mud trucks? And, well, since the reduction is done at the wheel ends, and since the shaft load is spread out from splines to a gigantic sun gear, so we've gone from here to here. I think most of you can get with the fact that this shit will shear off before that. It's not even straight, it's angled to even give more of a tooth pattern. And then it drops into these 5 gears. And so now we're turning this entire hub. And this entire hub and these 5 pins, that's what's turning your axle. So, most of the hub reduction is somewhere around 2 or 3 to 1. So, I'll read some shit to you from Clark. A lot of that in the buggy field, right? Big old gigantic 20-ton forklifts. They put it like this. With final reduction made at the wheel ends, the 3 planetary gears, they're only using a 3-planet like that right there, take over and distribute torque smoothly and evenly. This secondary reduction at the wheel, as compared with conventional axles, reduces torque loading on the axle shafts as much as 80%. As a result, there is little axle shaft wind up and blah blah blah. I think people have heard of these people right here. Eating's about as big as it gets. They're talking about their planetary double reduction. In the second reduction, power is transmitted from the internal teeth of the ring gear to the 4 enclosed planetary gears. This is a 4-planet setup. This spreads the torque load over 2.5 times more gear tooth contact area than in the old design. Gear loads are reduced. Planet gears cannot separate under peak loads because they are confined within the ring gear. Normally gears are just exposed out in the air, whether they be lined up in a transmission or whatever. They're not held in, but these are held in. They don't get to escape. All they get to do is turn. So, in summary, this was all driven about cost. Now we move on, talk about hub reduction, talking about the Volvos. The Volvos, they introduced the bevel, using the bevel gears, bevel spider gears, just like on the rear axle and the carrier and stuff. So, what do they say? With hub reduction, the rear axle gearing is reduced to half at the driven wheels. This gives a torque multiplication factor of 2 to 1. Since the torque increase takes place at the outer ends of the drive shafts, the stress on both shafts and transmission is halved. Okay, basically, because you do everything right here on the end, every single thing upstream, the load on every single thing all the way up to the pistons. Drive shafts, U-joints, transmissions, all the way up to the pistons. The load is reduced. So, that's why they started coming up with planetaries, because you can put you a set of planetaries on the end of an axle. You can make the axle a whole lot smaller. You can make the ring gear and the pinion gear a whole lot smaller. That's why if you look at any Axle Tech or Meritor axle, you ever noticed that the pumpkin's real small? The center chunk is not very big in comparison. That's the other thing it does. So we're going to talk about our gear reduction. See, you start running into a problem, whether you be your Dana 60 or you be your 4.9 inch. You guys have to remember something. As numerically as your teeth goes up, you got more teeth. As your teeth count goes up on your ring and pinion, you got more teeth. If you got more teeth and you got to put them in the same ring gear, 9 3/4 like a Dana, well, each of those teeth are going to be a little bit smaller. Whether you put 30 teeth on this ring gear or 54, the one with the 54 teeth is going to be a lot smaller. The teeth are going to be smaller. Therefore, they're going to be more prone to breakage. That's why when you look at a race car, when they're running 456s and 513s and 557s, they're running all them 4340 and nickel geared and hardened and all that stuff. But you don't see them break. And they got a shitload of contact area down on the pavement. You with me? So, you get to make everything smaller. So I guess what I'm saying is, check this out. If you were to put planetaries on the end of a Dana 60 or something, it would be like bolting on 5-ton stuff. If you were just to bolt on Planetaries on your standard, like 1.25" 30 spline Dana 60. There's a 1.5 deuce. Here's a 35 spline. If you were to bolt on, what did we say? One of them said 2 to 1. One of them said 2.5 to 1. One of them said up to 80%. Now, they're talking about 3 planet systems, 4 planet systems. But when you move up to something like a 5 planet system, anyway, I think y'all get my point. So, the question is, how in the fuck do you get a set of planetaries onto the end of a normal floating 8-lug axle? How in the hell do you do that? Well, I'm going to show you how in video number 2, and it can be done. God bless you, God bless America, and happy trucking. Bye.